What's your favorite scary movie? Sequel. Welcome in to the Bro 4 Squad podcast, where we are just a bunch of bros drinking beer and talking movies. This is our movie commentary of Scream 2. I am your host, the mayor, Jeff Hornacek. We are going to watch the sequel to Scream with you here now. This is currently, it was on Paramount Plus. We'll get into this on the commentary. I don't know why the fuck it's not on there now, as Scream 6 is about to come out in theaters, but we currently rented this on Amazon. Our movies are paused at the 8-second mark with the Dimension Films logo fully up on the screen. While you get your movies sunk up there, let's go around and meet my fellow bro tonight, my horror hound, my horror connoisseur, our legal counsel, Ronnie Cycli. Ronnie, have to ask you, what is scarier to you? If Killface were to follow you to college and start killing all of your friends, or if you had to relive your first semester freshman year with your college roommate?
God, I'd take Ghostface all day. All day.
Yeah, they're both a form of dying slowly.
Honestly, like that was a form of torture with my roommate. I did pee in his shampoo though, so pretty sure you did too. I think we both did.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I needed much persuasion to do that.
Thankfully, I don't think he's a fan of the podcast.
I was going to say, what if he's like actually the biggest listener of this podcast? He's like, guys, was that a fucking bit that you did?
Wait a second.
All right, 8-second mark, Dimension Films up on the screen. Let's press play in 3, 2, 1, play. Now, Cycli, we obviously are the big horror heads on the podcast here. Saw is probably our favorite franchise, I would say, but after revisiting all of the Scream movies, I think this is the franchise that its biggest quote-unquote dip in quality is nothing compared to a lot of the other classic horror franchises.
No, absolutely. I think we've talked about this a little bit. Go check out our Halloween special. I think it was this last year, where we kind of talked about horror movie genres and how I think we both agreed that Scream consistently from top to bottom has the best average, doesn't disappoint really. Like we think also what Scream 3 is the worst one, and that's not an insult. It was kind of like we had a discussion the other day of Christopher Nolan terrible, like what his list of movies, and just because there's a bad movie on his lowest ranked movie doesn't make it a bad movie. It's just that's how good the other movies are. Yeah. Scream is a victim of that. Like, these movies are great.
Is Scream 3 the one where they're on the set of the
yes.
stab movie? Okay. And then Scream 4 is Sydney goes back to whatever their town is, and her cousin is dealing with Killface, played by Emma Roberts. All right. Yeah, I guess part of the reason for that is the meta element of stab ties into this perfectly. Do you think this franchise has been able to keep its quality so high because it's playing in the sandbox, but also acknowledging that it is in the sandbox, and these other horror movies have to constantly try and keep reinventing the wheel to make themselves relevant and interesting?
I think that's the thing is like what Wes Craven did with this, because like he's making these movies almost meta about him, like the movies he kind of used to do and things like that. Scream has always known what it is, right? Like inherently, like Scream is a horror movie. Like there are genuinely creepy parts in it, especially the first one. But even the first one still had its meta movie elements, massively so actually. But like this is the first one that we get pretty consistently over the next few movies, where we get the stab franchise. Like this is meta on another level now.
Right. And like, it's interesting because if you're Wes Craven, like the idea of making a meta horror movie is really interesting in Scream, but just think of all the ideas that he can play with making a meta horror movie sequel, like playing with all of the sequel tropes. He was probably salivating at this.
Oh yeah, like we're literally watching the opening scene of the first one right now. You know what I mean? Like just with different actors, which I think is hilarious. Like we're just getting to enjoy this, which by the way, I think we mentioned on the first screen commentary that we ever did. One of the best things about this franchise are the openings.
Yeah, I'm excited to see for Scream 6 who they get. Heather Graham taking a shower, that always puts butts in seats.
Yep. And I think because you mentioned before, because we're big fans, Saw was the only other one like that knocks out the openings really
Oh,
well.
yeah. Yeah, the cold open where it's always two people in a trap.
Yep. And usually the thing is like, for the most part, the few, for the Saw movies, the opening scene really doesn't have anything to do with the story of the movie, right? It's like an isolated,
Yeah.
kill. Well, Jigsaw doesn't kill people. I'm sorry.
Or I was about to say, check yourself before you wreck yourself.
But I love, like, one, I think people don't realize going to horror movies, especially in the 90s, 2000s, was an experience, right? Like, it might be so, maybe, I don't know. I don't think movies are like that anymore, because now you go to the movies and you reserve seats and people are getting dinner and drinks, and it's kind of like a more of an event. Do
Yeah.
you remember, like, I mean, we talked about Seeing Strangers in the mid 2000s, like, that wasn't like people were yelling and like freaking out in the theater, like that. This scene isn't that ridiculous to me. That's how people were about with these kind of movies back then.
100%. And I mean, like, we were like shithead teenagers going to those films, and like I think Wes Craven like really hit the nail on the head with like horror fandom, and like how it's perverse, but also it's like I don't know, it's like not in a weird way that these people are like glamorizing this guy murdering people, because it is fictitious. But what happens when, in the case of what we're about to see, like someone
Yeah.
uses this as a avenue to
Yeah.
do something a little too
It
much?
happens in front of you. It's like, it's like America's, or I'm sure the world's, obsession with true crime documentaries, and like really came to a head with the Jeffrey Dahmer one, where people are like, guys, these are real fucking people. Like, these are real families. Like, this isn't and I mean, it is, because as bad as it is, I'm saying this, I still watch this shit.
Yep.
But like, these are people's, I mean, not Scream because it's not a real movie, but like, these are people's trauma that we're like getting entertained off of. It is a big, and Wes Craven, again, he knew what he was doing with this.
He was definitely ahead of his time.
Yeah. Was that girl behind from that 70s show? I
The
missed it.
sister?
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, if it was her, she's dead in real life.
I know. Yeah.
Pretty
She did
sad
not
death,
have
too.
it good. Yeah, she kind of really lost it there, fortunately.
This leather jacket, though, fuck.
See, this is a mistake back then, people. You don't leave. You always have someone saving your seats, because back then they weren't saved seats. You
Yeah.
left, that seat could be
Oh,
gone.
there's nothing the usher can do. He's gonna laugh in your fucking
No.
face if you ask for his
Yeah.
help.
We were sitting there. You didn't. You remember how traumatizing saving seats was for your friends, because you didn't know when they were going to get there?
And you know what's crazy too? Remember how shitty those seats were? And that's something that, like, even before we had the technology to do seat reservations, what was the excuse for movie theaters to have that shitty of seats?
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is, it really did take Netflix and a few other things to finally make theaters change.
Which,
They
now
had
that
done
you
the
bring that
formula
up,
for forever.
that's really fucking annoying. Like,
Yeah.
so you're not going to spend any money into your experience unless, like, you're on the verge of bankruptcy.
Yeah. No one's going to theaters anymore. We need to make it special. Have you
This
ever made
movie,
popcorn like that?
I
I'm
was going to say,
sorry.
I've done Jiffy Pop like camping, but this movie, like, who cooks it at home? Just throw
Yeah,
it in
I've
the
never
fucking.
done popcorn in the foil.
It's more just like an experiential type thing.
This is a brilliant. I mean, obviously everyone can see where this is building to, but like, just love the concept of introducing like a killer who's been so immortalized by society that like it's not weird to see his mask. Like, why would you be freaked out by seeing this mask, right? Because like everyone's doing it, it's funny, and that inherently takes this fear away, right? Like it makes it 10 times worse to me.
Yeah, when you see two kill faces like at the urinal, like this, shaking each other's dicks, it's like, all right, am I really scared that this guy's gonna kill everybody?
Yeah, it's like a group of clowns, right? Like, how do I isolate myself from who's the creepy clown and who's like the friendly clowns? I'm like, yeah,
This is the premiere of the first stab, right? Like, it hasn't even
it's
been released yet.
sneak peek. Yeah,
So this is definitely giving me Phantom of the Megaplex decom vibes. Disney Channel
wow.
original movie.
That I always wanted to work at a movie theater when I was a kid. Like, was those kind of movies and things. I always thought it sounded fun.
Yeah, the one that I went to, the AMC that I went to this past weekend, I just saw some horrible behavior from patrons, and I was like, man, I feel
Oh,
fucking sorry for these
no,
people.
that was a kid thing. I remember once I became a teenager and realized what dicks we were. I was like, no. Mm-mm. That was all we had to do was go to the movie.
Dicks, Tychley, we were fucking hilarious. What are you talking about?
Do you think he's going to be okay?
Yeah, bro, it's just it's a flesh wound.
Yeah. I
Getting
mean,
stabbed in the side of the head, not something you see that often.
no. That knife doesn't look that sharp, you know. That was just pure strength.
It's the curve. That's where the real value is here.
See, Van Gogh was fine without Nier. I don't know why he's being so dramatic about it.
Van Gogh was a fucking gamer.
That's true.
Shoot some cortisone, and he was ready to go. Now, is Wes Craven like making it super meta? Is this because they're African Americans that he's having them scream at the movie though?
Yeah, probably. He played up every bit. That's the thing about these movies. Again, they played up every bit he could. But that's what he was able, like the fact that he was able to do it successfully without making it stupid.
Yeah,
that's what's most impressive about it. Like,
you
can do meta really wrong.
If this were a porno, that she would have sex with this guy with the mask on, and then only realize afterwards, oh my God, you're not really my boyfriend.
I would. I mean, even if it wasn't a porno, I'd watch that.
This, I know we talked about this on our. Actually, I wasn't on the Scream commentary, the first one. Were you?
I believe. I don't. That's one of those like. I feel like it's one of those lost Broforce Squad. Like, did it really happen? Like.
Well, we've actually had some debate about this. Let me search it up again. Maybe we didn't do a commentary on the first Scream because
I think it's a debate. It's a.
Geiger and I have debated this.
Yeah, we've. Oh yeah, I see. I love this kill here. Sorry.
Oh yeah, she feels the blood. She's like, "Are you on your period?"
This is just genius here, though. Like,
you know, I will say this: slight spoilers for Scream 5 if you haven't seen it, but it's in the first 10 minutes. But typically, the pretty well-known actor or actress who shows up in the beginning of a Scream movie does die. Mm-hmm. Really interesting kind of turn on its head with Jenna Ortega in Scream.
That's right.
She gets attacked, but actually survives.
Yep, and then makes you think she might be in on it.
Right.
This is the part that's brilliant. Like, honestly, if you saw this in real life, like you were at the theater and people were behaving this way and getting excited, you would think it's part of a gag. Like, you would think this
100%.
Is like when she gets up here.
They're really committing to it.
I mean, yeah, it's a great ability to kill someone, and if he's going for how can I kill someone in front of so many people, like, because you watch the menu, right? Yeah, like,
yes, I love the menu.
Yeah, like just seeing how people react to you, like your inherent belief is when it's happening is like, this isn't real. That would be your first reaction, like, well, this is fake.
People think it's like this weird performance art, like a Shia LaBeouf performance piece.
I remember in high school when I
know exactly what you're about to reference.
Held up at gunpoint, like how.
No, sorry.
Well, I was gonna say in my head when it first happened, it took about 5-10 seconds. My brain was literally telling me it was a joke. Like, I was waiting for like you and our friends to come and be like, "Ha, we fucking got you." Like, I couldn't process that was really happening.
Yeah.
So like I see, like, that, like, to me, that kill scene, people's inherent reaction is like, oh my God, she's getting stabbed because of course like your human brain is like, you're trained to expect what's normal, and that's
and with this, there's probably people that were at that movie that didn't even know till they got home. They're like, wait, really?
Yeah, I've been like, I can't believe they opened like that.
God, remember back in the day, she had the caller ID as a whole separate thing hooked up to the phone.
My parents still have their original caller ID on their.
Do they really?
Yes.
That's
like,
awesome.
I don't think they use it. It's just like, I don't think they've ever unplugged it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
does it work still?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it knows numbers like the way it used to. Like, it used to say the person's name, or it used to say at least the last name.
Is it like in the Geneva Convention that movie phone numbers have to start with 555?
Yeah. Isn't that like the only like way you can have a guaranteed fake number?
I think so.
Someone learned the hard way. They just put a random number in a movie, and they're like, someone actually had that. And I'm like, God damn it.
Is he I thought he was in the third one, Liev Schreiber.
I think he's in all of them except the. I mean, I
I
don't know
thought
if
he was more in the. I could be wrong.
I think he's in a decent amount in all three. Or
No, he's in the.
he does have a bigger role in the third one, I think, but he has a decent role in this one. A very decent role in this one.
If I remember right, his character is in the first one, but he's not played by him.
I think it is. I just don't think he's really in it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I really thought he was shown on like the TV or like. Let's see, maybe I'm just like, misremembering because I've gotten so used to him being that character that I like, I put it in my memory.
You just Google which Scream movies is Liev Schreiber in.
But yeah, like he does have a more prominent role in this one. Isn't this where he tries to, or is it the third one that he tries to convince?
What's the one where he like needs her to go on the talk show with him?
I think it's this one. Yeah. I really think it's this one, and he like is because he's a big, like half the movie. Again, I hope I'm not spoiling this movie if you're watching this with us. I'm assuming you've seen this before, but the movie.
So you're right.
You think he might be bad the whole time. Yeah. You think he might be the killer to get revenge on her.
No, you're right. So Liev Schreiber plays Cotton in the first three Screams, all of them.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think he's in it. He's just like.
He's in like a TV. Quick like news shot. I don't know if this is real, but this says Stab is a 1998 movie.
There's an actual movie called Stab?
Well, but it has all the cast from this.
Oh, is it like a meta Wikipedia page?
Is it? Okay, yeah, it says it is a fictional film.
Okay. I was like, because you never know. Like, I'm sure someone has made a movie called Stab. It wouldn't be that insane. But we get, this is a great scene here about, here we go, the very meta Scream movies where they kind of just straight up openly talk about sequel movies.
Oh, yeah. How much is Joshua Jackson in this again? Are these guys just in this one scene? Because him and Sarah Michelle Gellar and Oliphant.
No, they're in it again, a decent amount.
God, what a like who's who of teeny boppers.
Oh yeah.
Jamie Kennedy just already looks like Tumnus the elf from.
I know, he actually he's what year did Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe come out? He's like, his agent's like, hey, we need to prep you for auditions.
Dude, you probably knew this, but he bagged Jennifer Love Hewitt.
That's wild. He was big for a minute there.
I mean, the guy just fucking had everyone fooled.
The Jamie Kennedy Experience. He had that show. Was that what it was called?
I think so. Was that like one of the first like meta? Yeah. Not meta, but like fake reality shows.
Prank show. Yeah.
There was an actual prank show.
I don't know if it was like a prank show, but like one of those like where they just did like real life things.
So funny. Will denim quote unquote dress shirts ever make a comeback?
I hope so. Everything's cyclical, right?
Timothy Oliphant is just so creepy. It's such a good actor.
Yeah, this is great because this is a debate. I do love that they show this because this is a conversation that everyone's had, right? Like best sequels, right? Like that I don't even know, like that we might have had the one of our conversations on pod about our favorite sequels ever, but like it's an interesting one.
We did a movie madness tournament of worst sequels ever. Jamie Kennedy was involved with the Son of the Mask.
God. It's funny that and you know how much I adore the Godfather movies. It is funny that they mentioned Godfather 2 there, and it's a consensus. Everyone nods. Now, I'm not saying Godfather 2 isn't better than the first one. It's just like there's no way people would just consensually agree to that.
Right.
Like people would very much be like, yes, it is, or like it has better moments. But because I'm one of those that say Godfather Part 2, the prequel scenes in that movie are what make that movie great. So
yeah,
I'm just saying a whole film class all agreeing to that. I don't find that.
Yeah, especially where those would be like the most pretentious movie fans.
Yeah.
I don't think you get consensus on anything.
No.
So is this like her freshman year of college? Like how long ago did the Billy?
Yeah, it's been one. I think they take place in like real life. Like it's been 1 year.
Well, she started dating again quick. That's good.
Yeah, she's not gonna let trauma hold her back from a little dick.
Especially Jerry O'Connell's dick.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing too. I do like this movie because, like, I mean, obviously, like all the screams of like who done it, but like, because Wes Craven, especially with how meta this movie is and this genre is, you could see him being like, I'm gonna make it fucking the boyfriend again, like, because that would fuck with people. Like, oh, there's no way he's gonna make it the boyfriend again. And he's like, no, I will now because you think that.
I do love the motivation of the eventual killer here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Me too.
That is one thing I definitely remember from this movie.
Yeah, but like you really can't predict Wes in this one, like, because you're like anything he does, he's gonna be thinking steps ahead of you because there's no rule. He wrote this universe does not have rules.
Yeah. Gail is like their guinea pig for hairstyles. Like if they have a weird
My
fucking
God.
idea, they just throw it on her.
If we do a commentary on the third one, that might be her worst hairstyle of all time. Like I don't know what Courtney Cox or whoever did. Do you know what I'm talking about?
It's like a short, like gelled to her head
But
type.
like it's uneven in the bangs.
It's called
Like,
art, bro.
I'm just saying, if you're listening and you have no idea what I'm talking about, just Google Courtney Cox hair Scream 3.
You could probably just Google hair, and the internet would be like, "Oh, I know what the fuck you want to see."
It's incredible.
Is Courtney Cox especially now that Nev Campbell fucking bounced on the new one? Is she the only character who's been in every single movie?
I think so. Yeah.
She in Scream 4?
Okay. Well, yeah, I think so.
Because I know she has a big role in Scream 3. Fuck, is she in Scream? I'm sure she is.
Now, Scream 4, unfortunately, I need to watch it again.
It's really good. I just watched it.
I really liked it. It's just probably the one I've revisited the least. I mean, it's Scream 5 too, but that's more so because it's only been a year and I've only watched
Scream
it.
Scream 4 feels the most like the original because they're just back in the town and it's like
well, it's like 20 years later, right, or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. So Sydney, again, it's like Killface is doing what he did to her, but to her younger cousin, who she's kind of estranged from because I believe that's from her dad's side of the family.
Mm-hmm.
Who obviously there was like a lot of baggage between him and her family. But Hayden Panettiere from that movie is coming back in the new one.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna trust this movie. Like, there's no reason not to.
Yeah, you're right. I have really no defensible way to say that it won't be good, except for, and we've already been proven wrong because it happened with this one, but except for the but the expedited production release schedule.
So we got like 14 months between Scream 5 and 6. This movie took place literally a year later.
Gross.
I also feel like that was more common back then I mean, like Saw did it, but I don't think Saw required as much production as these movies did.
The scary thing with Saw is, here come the fucking Stepford Wives.
I love it.
Is they would like start making
Portia,
the next one.
I forgot. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, that's right, Portia de Rossi.
Yeah.
They would start making the next Saw, but while they were still filming the other one.
We don't even know how bad it's gonna do. We're just gonna go ahead and make it.
Like what? No one. I mean, look, I know we went to like college in a different part of the country, but like people, even in sororities, did not fucking dress like. These are country club members that they're dressing as.
Yeah, they're rich. We didn't go to rich schools, bro.
You're right.
I remember the time I was down in Dallas for Oklahoma, Texas, and I almost got in a fight with not a Texas person, but an SMU person.
SMU. Like,
and they were dressed like that. And they were fucking dressed like that.
Where's your dad's helicopter?
It's like, what?
Oh, that's what we're going to fight over. Okay. I want to make sure. Now, Sydney's in a sorority, right? Just not their sorority? Or
no, they're trying to recruit her. That was that whole scene. They're because they're freshmen, and I guess it's like rush week. But everyone knows sorority rush is before the school year starts, guys.
God, pothole. So I'm guessing just because she's like a pseudo celebrity based on having survived a murder, everybody likes her in their sorority.
Yeah, well, the big thing was not just surviving the murder, obviously, but Gail's book. That then developed the movie. But
how old do we think Gail is compared to them? Because like actress-wise, I can't imagine Courtney Cox is that much older than Nev Campbell. I could be wrong.
Yeah, there's no way. I think Gail was relatively young in her career, and that's why she was wanting that big break so bad.
Yeah.
But in real life, they have to does Nev look like an 18-year-old here? Like,
no. Although in Nev Campbell's defense, she hasn't aged since this movie. She looks great still.
Oh yeah, she can get it.
Okay, Courtney Cox right now, 58 years old. Nev Campbell, 49. So yeah, I guess they're.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Nev Campbell still looks incredible.
They're 9 years. You said 49 and 58.
Yeah.
Jesus,
And
I
looks
had
like
no idea.
I feel like David Arquette is much closer to Nev Campbell than. Although Dewey is supposed to be younger, right? Because his like how much older was he than his little sister? In the
I
first
have
one.
no idea. Oh, in the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because yeah, that's right. I mean, maybe a couple. Let's see. So 3. So Nev Campbell here is probably like 25 years old, 26 years old in real life. She was born in 73, and this movie came out in 98.
Yeah, David Arquette's 51, so he's way closer to Nev Campbell.
Man, I am learning some things. Yeah, I never realized like that they're 9 years different. But I mean, that does work. So yeah, I was thinking the same.
God, I could see Wes Craven every time on set. Like, I need more limp, David. God damn it.
He got progressively more like throughout the series. Like,
It's like, all right, guys, we're gonna film this 7 times. I want 7 different volumes of limp.
He was basically like broken by the 5th movie.
I want you to look like what's the fucking movie where the kid's mom dies from a foul ball?
Okay.
Simon Birch. I want you to
Oh my
Simon
God,
Birch.
yeah.
Now I want you to Kirk Gibson after he hits the home run off Eckersley. Wes, none of us understand these references.
Is this the yeah, okay. So she still doesn't like Gail Cunningham, right? Like, well, is this the end of their like little rivalry? Is it really the third one where they become kind of like friendly? Because she still doesn't like her here.
I think even in the third one, they're still kind of frenemies. Because Gail always will do whatever she can for the story. She doesn't give a So Cotton Weary, just to recap, he had like an affair with her mother, Sydney's mom, and then was suspected of Sydney's mom's murder.
Oh, he was arrested and went to jail.
Yeah, but he was falsely accused, right?
But based on Nev Campbell's testimony.
Is why he went to jail?
Based on Sydney's testimony of placing him as she said she saw him leave the house.
Oh, really?
And Gail was like, no, you saw someone leave the house.
Did they or do we know at this point in the series, because I actually still don't know, who actually killed Sydney's mom?
Yeah, I mean, they know it was Billy.
Did Loomis admit to it at the end of the first one?
Yeah. Because he said he did it too, because he's like, your whore mother slept with my father and ruined their marriage or whatever.
Oh, got it, yeah.
Yeah.
Then I guess it's a huge spoiler for the last Scream, but let's just say Billy Loomis was doing some fucking himself.
Man, yeah. I do like the ability to, like, you call retconning. Again, that's the whole point of that movie is the retcon, right? Like, like they're like, you can't be mad at them for retconning that. You're like, okay, I guess. Damn.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense character-wise.
Yeah.
Especially because Sydney wasn't giving it up.
No. Yeah, she was just a big prude. And
Are
they're
they together yet, or have they just like fucked once, Gail and Dewey?
Yeah, I don't know.
I do have to say it's kind of like impressive. Maybe impressive is the wrong word. It's interesting that Courtney Cox and David Arquette were married in real life, divorced, and how many times have they had to return to act alongside another for these movies?
So they're married right now in the 90s, right? Like,
I believe so, yeah.
And
like
then,
I think in this and at Friends at the time, she was Courtney Cox Arquette.
That's right, she was Courtney Cox Arquette. Yeah. So when did they divorce?
I don't know. It didn't last too long, if I remember right. Like 2-3 years. But they've done, I mean, obviously, like they did the recent Scream together. They've done a ton of movies post.
Yeah, but wasn't it like really awkward? Like, I don't know. I felt the tension on the screen between them. So she married David Arquette in 1999.
So right around the time this came out then, yeah, right?
They filed for a divorce in 2012, so 13 years.
Oh, that long?
Yeah.
Damn, good for them.
13, 14 years, yeah. In Hollywood terms, that's wow.
They went the distance in Hollywood terms.
Courtney Cox started dating Snow Patrol band member Johnny McDade.
Like now?
If I lay here.
Sing me that one ditty, Johnny.
Yeah, in 2013, they got engaged and then called the engagement off shortly after. So that's nice.
Bad sex must have been what happened.
I love this week. I love Wikipedia reading about Courtney Cox, and then it finishes with her personal life. Courtney Cox is a practitioner of Budokan karate. Like, oh, cool.
I've never even heard of that, but that's fucking cool.
Like, thank you.
Okay, one thing movies like I think always add to parties that just don't exist, and the first Scream is one of the biggest offenders of this. Is the snacks?
Oh yeah.
Like
no,
no
adult
college party.
snacks.
Yeah, no college party has food, let alone like baked goods.
At the very best, we would throw out chips just on the table, or maybe a pizza.
Yeah.
Like, and that would be like for the pre-party, like if you
Right,
came
and
over.
even the pizza is like pushing it.
Yeah. Everyone come over. We're gonna have lots of hors d'oeuvres.
But in the first Scream, dude, they're like it's a high school party, and like everyone's well fed.
Mm-hmm. It's nice. We were clearly not old enough in the 90s to go to parties with food. Like maybe it was our generation. We were really just selfish. We didn't want to cook for our friends.
I mean, trust me, my friends didn't want me cooking for them either. Not if they value their like stomach.
What happened to Sarah Michelle Gellar?
You know what's funny? Her and Freddie Prinze Jr. are still married to this day. They're like.
Do they just live in the 90s in their house, you think? You think like
so,
everything is 90s themed because like that's the one time in their life they were actually big?
She has a show coming out on Paramount Plus called The Wolfpack this week, I think.
Well, she's just still around. Good for her. Is Freddie Prinze Jr. in anything?
So he has voiced Ezra Bridger on the Star Wars show Rebels.
Mm-hmm.
And he returned for Rise of Skywalker as one of the voices of the Jedi that Rey hears in that last moment.
So really, things are going great.
Yeah, things are going pretty well in the Prince household.
Hey, the agent's like, we cast you in Star Wars. You're like, oh shit, yeah. You're gonna say one line and not be on screen.
Sure.
I made it. But yeah. To people who don't know, growing up in the 90s, like Freddie Prinze Jr. was definitely like definitely not like Leonardo DiCaprio heartthrob by any means, but he was up there. Like people, like I remember all the girls in middle school liked him, and Sarah Michelle Gellar was relatively like on the cusp of being pretty big.
When did Buffy end? It was like in its heyday during this, right?
Yeah, I think like right in the early 2000s.
I think she's come out and said, and like Joss Whedon's been canceled, obviously, but I think he was pretty verbally abusive on set to her and some other. Allison Hannigan has said some things.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people made it out of Buffy. I've never watched Buffy, but I've always heard like amazing things. I've always heard like very cult classic.
Yeah, I guess like I've tried to watch some of it. I just don't get it.
You just don't get it, man. Like
because it's like sometimes it's like so tongue in cheek and like purposely low production value, and then other times it's like real, like, hey, take us seriously.
Like, yeah, so you're missing the whole point. I would explain it to you, but
yeah,
like,
no, I'm too
you're not
stupid.
That's how I felt about Tenet. I'm like, yeah, man, like, I'm not gonna bother explaining it because it's just not worth the time.
Yeah, these old cordless phones, like, what's the range here? Like, can she go upstairs, do you think, with this and get murdered?
She has to be semi near the base. I remember.
And what kind of battery life? Like, if she leaves this thing off the ringer for what? Like an hour?
I remember in our house we had our cord. I mean, this is when I was really young. I'm talking about mid 90s. We had like the one cordless.
Sorry, real quick. I think this girl is Audrey from Vegas Vacation.
Oh. Yeah. I mean,
there's something kind of cool though. Like, I know it's restrictive, of like having the corded phone.
Mm-hmm.
It's like very sitcom-y, like, let me go from the kitchen into the living room real quick and take this call.
I remember, like, I had to be, if someone called me, if like a friend called me, I had to be on the cordless phone because I was like, I cannot be in the living room.
Fuck!
In this conversation. I remember people calling me like, hold on, I'm going to switch phones. Do you remember saying that?
Oh my God. Yeah, that was the fucking move.
Yeah.
And of course, you understood, like, yeah, mad respect. You gotta switch phones, bro. I totally get it.
Yeah. My stupid parents are in the room. Ugh. Mom's cooking dinner. Gross.
It's wild that like other people could just pick up the phone and listen to your conversation.
Yeah, I know. Mom, my sister's on the phone.
Okay, so again, people who have seen it, or people listening to this commentary obviously have seen the movie, but knowing who Killface is, I guess I'm trying to realize like why they care about murdering her. Or is it just like a preseason game? Like you need to get.
Yeah, I don't think it. Like, I mean, that's a really good question because we never really break that down, right? Like, Saw as a franchise inherently has a point to play with his victims. I think like with Ghostface, it's like he very much like just doesn't mind killing to strike up the fear of the
to
town,
build like the lore,
the
of
suspense. Yeah. Now I don't. That's really interesting. I've actually never. That's worth a discussion long term because like, where does he come up with the kills for, right? Like, because
this one is clearly not like impulsive.
Yes, and so there was like a reference about like the Drew Barrymore kill in the first one. He like I can't remember, was it Billy or the other one, makes a comment about how like she wouldn't go out with him.
Yeah,
I think it was what's it not Billy. Who was the other guy? What's his name in real life?
Skeet Ulrich.
No, yeah, no,
Billy Loomis.
Yeah, the other
Matthew
one.
Lillard.
Yeah, Matthew Lillard. Thank you. I think Billy like says to Matthew like she wouldn't go out with you or something like that. Like so. But I don't know about all the other kills. Like this one, you're right. Like, what's his motivation? Or
also, I mean, we can just talk about who Killface is, right?
Yeah.
So Billy Loomis's mom, like some of the athletic moves that Killface makes, I'm like, she couldn't fucking do that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
she's the only Killface in this movie, right?
No.
Who's the other one?
It's the
Oliphant?
it's the friend, not the boyfriend. The friend
Was he Billy Loomis's friend in high school too?
I can't remember.
Like, why is he working with her?
I can't remember. I think.
Or are they both separate motivations, just happen to be Killface?
They like, yeah, he like they find each other on a chat room, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. It's been a little bit. I think I'm trying to think of the last time I saw this movie.
I definitely just remember her wanting to get after Sydney. Like she like blamed her for like her son going insane and all that stuff.
I remember she like found. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but I felt like she found him in a chat room and someone who sympathized with her, or maybe him. Yeah.
So did he just make that kill, or was that the mom, Billy Loomis?
I'm assuming that was him based on the athleticism. But, again, I mean, once you put on the mask, maybe you're a little stronger than...
When you wear V-neck sweater with no undershirt, it's not who am I fucking at this party, it's who am I not fucking.
It's like, how many? Yeah.
Right. What's my stamina? Because I'm going to be the one that has to tap out. But I wonder if the women just form a single file line and have like their resumes on hand.
But I do love the concept, though, because, again, it plays into the idea that, like, if you're suspecting the friend, you're suspecting the boyfriend too. You're like, literally, are they going to do the same thing?
Which I guess at the time we didn't really have the template yet for Scream, but it kind of would have been interesting in a weird way. It doesn't sound like it, but it would have been a misdirect to just kind of run it back,
Yeah. Like, honestly, if they had done the boyfriend and the friend, I really wonder, like, would the movie have been perceived differently, or would you have been like,
I think it would have
Wes Craven, man.
Yeah, I think it would have aged really well. Yeah, I think it would have aged really well, but at the time people have been like, really? But also, that's kind of like the best twist is like, you're not looking for it because it's like right in plain sight, like the magician's sleight of hand almost.
And Jamie Kennedy's character is always like talking about movies, copying formulas and doing the same things. And like, what would it be such a big deal? I mean, we're talking about like horror movie franchises. Saw is the killer every time, right? Like Freddy Krueger's the killer every time. Jason's the killer every time, right? Like Michael Myers. Like it's not the most insane thing to have that. Like, what makes Ghostface special is like the fact that he is a different person every time, but the entity is like,
Yeah, he's really like he's like Batman. He's like a moniker.
Yeah, like that's why it's going to be interesting to see what they do in in New York. But like.
And just thinking of like the killer, sort of like the reveal at the end, like the speech the killers could have gave, like, yeah, Sydney, it's just the same thing over again. Like you don't deserve like a a twist to your
Yeah.
follow-up, like it would have been. Yeah, Wes Craven probably could have written a great monologue at the end.
I'm going to make a prediction
Mhm.
about Scream 6. During the killer reveal at the end, the killer is going to say something to the effect, or killers is going to say something to the effect of, "It's New York. If I can't make it here, I can't make it anywhere," kind of thing. Like,
God.
if I can make it here, I can make it anywhere. About like why he's killing them in New York. He's like, yeah, man.
The killer is CC Sabathia.
Yeah, like it's like New York, New York. I feel like for you, it's gonna be really nostalgic. You're like, oh my god, like seeing kills around New York. Like, oh my god, I did see someone get killed there. That's
I
amazing.
murdered someone in that bodega.
I hope like he's like walking around town with like a map, and he has like he's just like asking questions like, "Where's that Statue of Liberty?" Like, ugh, fucking tourists.
Real.
It's a fanny pack. He's like struggling with the car to get in the subway. He's like,
How do these
"Oh my
subways
god,
work? Yeah,
I can't get this car to work."
the Metro card.
Yeah, Metro
He's like,
card.
this is what causes me to go on a killing spree.
Yeah.
These fucking annoying ass Metro cards.
Have you seen these rent prices? At least jail's free.
So which one do we think this is? Oliphant or the mom?
Yeah, so I wonder. It's a really good question about this one. About like, I wonder if someone's broken down. This looks like the mom. It looks smaller
You brought this
and
up in the
she's
first one
clumsier.
too. I do love this about Killface, and it kind of feels like they're changing this in the new one. Maybe they'll explain it, but he's like a normal person. Like he trips on shit. He falls down. Like
he's quite clumsy.
yeah,
Like,
he's not like this
literally, like,
Navy SEAL who's like doing an obstacle course. He doesn't
Dewey
do
very much so is limping even more so than he was 5 like
Again, there's probably a
appearance.
few. Wes is like, I need 4 different versions of limp.
Yeah.
You can't limp too much, David. I'll let you know. Yeah, this really sets up like the boyfriend's involved.
I really do wonder if someone's written online. I'm sure someone has. It's the fucking internet. Like, who is who in each kill or attack? Like that. I think that one seemed like the mom. She was clumsy, didn't do a good job.
Yeah.
And didn't make it out.
So now that Sydney has seen him again, she's like, well, motherfucker.
Yeah. Deja vu. She definitely has a type in her guys, but likes the white preppy boys. But Billy at least had an aura of like, ooh, bad boy.
Kind of like a look too, like the swoop hair.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the swoop hair was really big in the 90s.
Oliphant with the widow's peak is like, God, this hair will never go out of style.
Oliphant, he just looked like, I don't know, he has a face of what I would be like. Yeah, he looks like he could be the killer.
Yeah. She's like, I think you did it. Based on what? Your face. Well, I can't refute that. That's pretty fucking solid evidence.
Yeah, she's like, this is the point where she's like, I don't know if I can trust anyone.
He's like, look, I really want to be here to support you. However, I've sweated through this V-neck sweater, and I need to go home and change into another one. It's just a different shade of blue. So why don't you hang out, process some of this grief? I'll be back in, I don't know, 2 hours?
And definitely not with a knife.
Definitely not. It's weird you would bring that up. I didn't, you did. Okay, well, I don't know. Now you're kind of changing the subject. All I can think about is he's getting this bandage. He's going to get an $1,800 bill for this.
Oh, God. He's like, I'm in college. I don't have...
The bandages alone will be a $600 line item.
It's been a long time, knock on wood, that I've been in a hospital. But I remember like getting a bill once being like, that person, like it was like $1,000 for a specific charge. I was like, that person literally was in the room for maybe 10 seconds.
Dude, it's beyond a fucking joke and beyond criminal. I saw on Reddit, someone posted an invoice from when their child was born, and a hospital charged them $48 to have their child handed to them from the nurse.
Yeah, no. What if you decline that charge? Be like, you know what? I don't want to be charged for that, so you keep the kid.
Well, what does the hospital do if you're just like, this didn't happen?
Yeah, like no, for real. Like I think you fight back on that kind of.
How does the
Like I'd be
hospital
like, no,
prove?
you put the baby on the ground and I'll pick him up.
Yeah, I picked it up. This guy's bad with the chalk.
I do love like it is the 90s and like they clearly have computers, but they still are on like this like old cops like we do things on the chalkboard with me.
Look, Frank, we let you keep the chalkboard in here to humor yourself, but like you just reciting shit that we already have digital copies of is.
And what is this even doing? He just wrote the victim's name down. How does that help solve anything?
Plus, it's like 3 people. If it was like 10, okay, maybe we need to keep track of it. But like, yeah, these are murders in a college town. I think we got it.
It's like maybe the names are like a moniker for something. Maybe it's the killer's name.
Now I'm gonna write our
misspelled.
lunch orders because these have been fucked up way too often lately.
It's like, what if we take the initials of each victim
Yeah.
and we scribble them?
And we order meatball subs. Okay, so it's not related to the thing you're
Yeah, no. I do like I just feel like the guys, the cops behind are just like as detail protection. I get like Secret Service, they have to wear suits because it's the fucking president. But like, if a killer comes run at her, is that the most agile way? Like, shouldn't they be in like tennis shoes and like
look good
running
play,
shorts?
Also, you can't see it now, but Jerry O'Connell's belt is one of at the time I was like, God, this is fucking genius. Now I'm like, what a fashion faux pas. It's one of those ones where like there's no like holes on the belt, but it's like weaved together. So technically you can tighten it or loosen it as much as you want.
Which is great over the holidays.
100%.
Like, I don't need to buy a new belt. Or
belts.
Poke a hole. And he's perfectly like, I do love the play. Like, he's playing it just like Billy did. Just be like, how can you not trust me? Like, I'm the victim in this now.
You have to gaslight. That's the best way to murder 7 of someone's friends.
Yeah. She's like, I've seen this monologue before.
And I'm not sure who gave it better. Babe, it's me. Papa Burgundy.
I always love these like old school cops who have like clearly in over their heads.
We grabbed a flyer of some sort? Like, what is that?
Guys, they're having the state fair. That apple buying
One night
contest.
only. All right, hold it down for just a second. I got to take a piss and get a new drink.
I believe in you.
Thank you.
You got this. You're not going to, hopefully nothing happens. But yeah, we're getting Dewey and Gail here and married in real life, but they play that frustration and annoyance, which I think only married couples really, really can handle. And now Gail's getting the treatment that she's always given to other people of being hounded by weak-ass reporters. And of course, if you know who this woman is, I don't want to spoil. I'm assuming, again, you know this movie, but really takes a turn when you've seen it before who that reporter really is. Considering this was like a multi-billion or $1 million movie and #1 seller book, you would think there'd be more than just like 3 or 4 reporters at the scene of multiple deaths at a college campus. But hey, maybe CNN's busy doing something else. But another meta scene of discussing who is the killer among the group of friends, where we all know or suspect that the killer is actually taking part in the conversation. Again, very much like the first movie. And I think we get the scene in probably all of the movies. Oh. Boyfriend playing up the depression because his girlfriend doesn't trust him. Which honestly, he needs to be more understanding of that. That's just my opinion. There's a reason she doesn't trust. There's a reason she's dealing with that. It's kind of unfair expectation for him. I forgot about this scene. I'm pretty sure I would die from secondhand embarrassment if anyone ever did this in front of me. Honestly, if like someone was doing this for me, I'd be begging them to please stop.
This is like a bucket list thing for me. Stand up on a table, preferably like a Red Lobster, and just do something.
Was this before or after? I'm trying to remember when 10 Things I Hate About You came out.
Was that 98 and this is 99?
Yeah, no, this is 98, I think.
Oh, it is? Okay.
I think maybe you put an idea in my head that whenever you're in college, people just, or I guess technically 10 Things I Hate About You is high school, like people just sing to each other. Right?
The Secret Service details, like, honestly, like, let's just let these guys fucking die. What kind of life are we preserving?
Yeah, see, I wouldn't be clapping. I'd be like, you guys suck. I'm trying to eat my food in peace.
I have a really big final coming up, so I'm glad that life is fucking hunky-dory to you.
Plus, literally, people were just murdered like yesterday, and they're like singing in the cafeteria having fun, and everyone's like, yeah.
I guarantee you there's one like fucking theater major like, oh my God, we're still on those murders. It's been 48 hours. Like, what? That's
my
not
God. Like, live a life, okay? Things happen.
Get over yourself.
Oh, I mean, you and I were not in frats, but
is this a big deal?
Is this a thing? Like, I don't know. I don't think I mean, we both had a ton of friends who were in frats. I don't remember them ever having
letter necklaces to give away to women.
But he wasn't supposed to.
If not, man, that's like if you're about to bang a chick, that's like bringing in Mariano Rivera in the ninth. I mean, that just closes it. It's over.
Oh, done. It's like the leather jacket of high school.
That's absolutely what it is.
Did I say leather jacket? Leather jacket.
Leather jacket. Did anyone at our high school have leather jackets?
Yeah, I know they did it in like the 90s for sure, but I feel like by the time we were in high school, the thing wasn't wearing the Letterman jackets. It was like people were just like the football players wore their jerseys on Fridays. The basketball players, like the soccer players wore their jerseys on the game days. Like,
I feel like if I saw someone with a Letterman's jacket at our high school, we all would have just laughed in their fucking face.
They are cool jackets now that I'm older. Who plays Billy here? Oh my
Luke
God.
Wilson. That's incredible.
Forgot. That's why I was like, I know it's someone who cracks me up when I see it. It's like fucking Luke Wilson. I'm the dude playing the dude. The rest is another
guys is another dude.
Like, they're just so like levels of meta.
And they're like, let's make it the wig not that good.
Yeah. You're playing, yeah, exactly. Like, you're playing a guy in a movie who's playing a guy in a movie.
My mom's dead and she's never coming back ever. Like,
I love how he hits his head there. Oh, so good. Yeah, we get the
love the product placement in Baskin Robbins. Let's turn the label to the camera. Thank you.
The inherent Jamie Kennedy breakdown of how sequels work now.
You know, I guess they had to kill him off in this movie because you can't have this scene in everyone, you know? Even though it is important exposition, there's got to be other ways to deliver it.
Yeah, there's part of me that wishes they didn't kill him in this one.
Yeah, I think it was early.
Not to say they're the same, but it's kind of like what Saw 3 did with killing Jigsaw. Like, you respect why they did it, but you're like, the franchise would have been better served slightly if he had lasted a little longer.
Now, in the new movie, there were those kids that were like his cousins, right?
Yeah, I think they were. Yeah, exactly. Or his like would have been nieces and nephews. Is that what would he have been the uncle or like? I can't remember. I need to rewatch that movie.
Yeah, same. That was like a whole Scream weekend. We saw it in theaters. We did the review on it. Then I actually watched this movie. Or did we watch this before?
We watched. No, you're right.
I wanted to catch up
after. I can't remember now, but yeah, we watched it for sure, either before or after.
Although I do think they all tie in, but the only like essential viewing before you watch Scream 5 is the original.
Yeah. And
you could watch it without that, but you get so much more out of it if you've seen the first.
Oh, exactly. Like these movies, like in general, like you could, if you've never seen like Scream, like you could watch this movie and still be entertained. The movies, they inherently follow the same formula. You know, like you don't have the history and the character, sure, but like I don't think you're going to be that lost watching this movie if you hadn't seen any of the others. And I think that's why Scream kind of does work too. Like, you know, to the new generation. We're like, I'm sure a lot of these kids haven't seen the original Scream.
I gotta say, I don't think I've successfully predicted a Scream killer in any of the movies.
It's hard because it's not like your normal. It is like a twist, but like, you know, like Saw twist and all these kind of things. It's because like realistically so, and I don't mean this to sound as good as it, like it could be anyone.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that like because look at the twist, it could be anyone. I'm like literally that these movies are so meta. That's the point. Like,
well, remember you and I thought that this is when we were like, I mean, we were sold anyway, but we were like, fuck, all right, this franchise is back. The Scream 5 poster, you remember the tagline on the poster?
Oh yeah.
It said the killer is on this poster.
Yeah. Well, like, I mean, wouldn't you, like that's what I'm trying to say, like about like why these movies are hard to predict. It's not like they like, you know, you're still expecting it, like you're not like blown away. Like I don't think I've ever been blown away when Ghostface takes the mask off and you're like, what? You know, it's not like the Saw effect where you're like, holy fucking shit, he was in the room the whole time. But the point is, the movie is like, dude, I wouldn't even have been surprised if like Sydney had been a killer. Like,
yeah.
You know, like if Sydney was like,
dude, what if that's what they're doing for Scream 6 and they're just acting like Neve Campbell's not in it?
That would be so sick. That would be so
fucking
sick.
Now I'm mad I even said that.
Yeah, but like, but that's the point. Like, that's why. How can you predict it? Like, and even Scream 5, I think we all like on the drive home, we were all like, oh yeah, that was kind of not predictable, but it was like, yeah, that made sense that they were the killers. But it wasn't like we were also let down that they were the killers. Like,
no. Well, they do such a good job of, and it's like this cat and mouse that Wes Craven plays so well in these, where like even the Jerry O'Connell character, like I think he like purposely tells them to act poorly. Holy shit! You know who this is?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Titanic, baby.
And the doctor from TGRI.
And yep. Mm-hmm.
It appears they've adopted you as their surrogate mother.
Didn't he recently pass away, or am I just making that up in my head?
I think he did, because I remember in the Bro Force Squad group
we talked about being Titanic and Teenage Ninja Turtles, and yeah. Maybe I'm making that up. Maybe it's like one of those like.
I'm gonna look it up right now because this guy's a fucking legend.
Speaking of, I don't know who knows what will release this, but by the time this is released online, I can't wait because Titanic's coming back out in theaters.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he died in 2002.
What? Why did I feel like he just recently passed?
No, I'm sorry, 2022.
Oh, okay.
I bet. Way off.
Like, wait a second.
And he was in Star Trek also. In the first Tron. This guy.
He was in the first Tron. Sorry, like the
81 and 80.
Okay, sorry. I was like, I do not remember him.
You know what I always hate seeing? Like his last acting gig was he played the Loeb in an episode of Teen Titans Go.
Oh.
It's like, oh.
No. Yeah. Kind of went out with a whimper there.
But before that, he was in Mary Poppins Returns in 2018 with Emily Blunt.
You know, I actually never watched that.
I don't think I have either, actually.
Which I did like. I grew up with Mary Poppins. I'm surprised I haven't.
Yeah, I remember you knew her in real life. She kind of raised you.
Yeah, because my parents were deadbeats.
They were fucking losers. I need to send you a YouTube video where, well, maybe you don't want to see it, but a guy does an Easter egg breakdown of the trailer for Scream 6. Have you seen
that? Scream doesn't, like I said, a few minutes ago, Scream doesn't like the entertainment I get from Scream isn't necessarily that. Like I love whodunits, but that's not what I get out of Scream, even though it is still a whodunit.
Yeah. So I guess if you don't want anything, and it's all in the trailer for the new Scream 6, but if you don't want that explained to you, just skip ahead 30 seconds because it won't be a long description. But the warehouse scene in the trailer where they have like all the Ghostface from the past like idolized on mannequins. A guy breaks down all of the memorabilia in that room, and it's something from every Scream movie, and he has a bunch of these costumes from this player there.
Oh, this is what... I don't know, maybe I'm sure online it says what play this is, but this is inherent. Like, those masks are creepy as fuck.
Oh, yeah. This is the the director, he's like Darren Aronofsky or David Fincher. He's like, I need 49 more takes. Like, what aren't you getting here? That
We
need?
got it.
Well, it's not necessarily anything I'm seeing on stage. I need to mentally abuse all of my actors.
Oh yeah, does she see him here second? Or am I
I think she's gonna have like a flashback.
yeah, like she doesn't know if it's real or not, or this is
Yeah, this
traumatizing for her.
I was gonna say, if you're someone that just survived like a masked killer 7 months ago, maybe this isn't the best hobby to take up.
Yeah, especially like this role.
This is why the director cast is like, you're perfect.
Yes, I need you to be someone who's about to get stabbed. I can do that. I have experience.
I mean, fuck, I'm creeped out and I'm like in the audience.
Yeah, because again, Scream could, easily. I mean, I think at this point, obviously, you still don't know there's going to be 6 movies. You don't know how many they're going to do, kind of thing. And it's like, they killed Drew Barrymore in the first scene of the first one. Like, would it be so shocking if they like at least got Sid a little? I don't know. Like,
yeah,
you are questioning what's going to happen. I think. I don't think you're like, oh, Sid, she'll be fine. There's going to be 8 of these movies. I don't think anyone.
I mean, that's the point of Scream, is like it acknowledges the rules of horror in the franchise, but it by no means agrees to play by them.
No. I love how shocked they're all. Like, they're like, why did she react like that? I'm like,
that is
really
so weird.
No one knows.
Oh my god! So you've seen 7 people get murdered in the last 8 months of your life. You're 19. Yeah. Get over it.
And we just rehearsed the scene where you're getting stabbed. What's the issue?
Yeah, this is where like the weird alibi doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like why is he there?
Why do you have that belt on? Because Sid, I never need to buy another belt. No matter how fat or skinny I get, this can adjust.
It's amazing. You just don't get it, okay?
I will save maybe $1,000 over the course of my life.
It's like those really, really stupid shirts we bought when we went to Kohl's, when we went to Europe from Kohl's, that had like the fake undershirt. Do you remember those?
Oh my god.
We had those like collared shirts that had the fake undershirt underneath.
Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with us?
Oh, that's funny. It's like, it's utility, okay? You can take it to any occasion. It's great.
It's genius. I don't know why everyone doesn't wear these.
I just think he's obviously, I mean, it's for us as the audience being like, is he the killer? But if I was dating a girl who went to this kind of trauma and she was dealing with trust issues, I'd be like, I get it. I'm not going to force myself.
Especially after she, like, think about what just happened to her.
Yeah, she's like, hey, look, my ex-boyfriend convinced me he wasn't, and he was the killer. I'd be like, yeah, you have issues. And she
actually handled it pretty well. I was like, honestly, I don't have to fucking put up with this.
Is that a cigarette?
I just gave you a 3-letter necklace with the letters of my fraternity, and you're going to fucking put this shit on?
You understand what that fucking means?
Oh my god, the meta of her saying about Jennifer Aniston. That's where, like, Marvel has pointed this out a lot, or people have pointed this out with a lot of things in the MCU. Like, all right, so in this universe, does Gale Weathers look exactly like Monica from Friends?
Oh,
because if Jennifer Aniston exists,
well, that's the whole thing. Even did you ever watch Friends at all?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not like a Friends head, but like
but like in Friends, I think I've watched the entire series once.
Oh, is like, this the Bruce Willis thing?
The Bruce Willis thing, yeah. Like he exists in Die Hard in the show, yet like he dates Jennifer. Like no one's like, you really look like that guy in Die Hard.
Yeah. Don't they mention Brad Pitt too when he's in a few episodes?
Yeah, Brad Pitt. Yeah, Brad Pitt is specifically in the show. Yeah, and they talk about Brad Pitt.
So at this point, just trying to figure out like things that the killer could do. Is this a mobile phone? Like, are mobile phones pervasive enough to where like Jamie?
I think they're getting to that point. Yeah.
Okay. But maybe not everybody has them.
Because if it's 98, I'm trying to think. I think my parents. This is around the time my parents got the Nokia, that brick phone, that snake on it. Maybe 99. I don't. Because I got my first cell phone in 2002 or 3. Because
we were sophomores in 03.
Yeah, right? I had that job at TCBY, and that's why I got like.
That's right.
Before I had a car.
But did that even have texting on it?
No. I remember getting my first text message and having no idea what the hell it was. I was like, what
Do you
is
think like
this?
someone was haunting you?
You know, I was just like, what is this message? Like, I'm like, I don't even know how to reply. I didn't even know how it worked.
All right, this is another thing we have to bring. This is a great scene too.
Yeah.
But like in pop culture and really just like media, at college there's always someone studying in the grass. Did you ever see that at your school?
Yeah, I think I did. We would have like I remember the random days we actually got class outside. It was
Oh, you got
always
class outside? Wow, that's
yeah,
cool.
it was always like the smaller classes. Like it was probably when I was an upperclassman, and you know you had like maybe your very very like specific like class that had like 11 people in it because it was not like you know because
It's
freshman
like
sophomore year you're
far
taking your
along on
gen
your
eds.
major, yeah.
Yeah. And if it was like a super nice day, and we'd be like, "Come on, let's go outside." And the professors knew you all enough to be like, "Okay." But
Let me
I
just,
people hung out outside for sure. I'm people read. I'm sure.
yeah, maybe I just don't remember it. So like, let me say this: if we're ever in a situation, especially where we're facing each other, and you give me like directions based on the clock, like 4 o'clock, don't. I won't
Yeah.
know your four
Mm-mm.
o'clock versus mine. We'll both get killed.
I have never been good. I'm glad you feel the same way. I have literally been awful at that forever.
Like
Hottie
just
at 9 o'clock. I'm like, I don't where. Just
what?
nod your head the direction.
This reminds me of an old school when they just beat the shit out of the campus, and they're like, "Sorry."
Sorry. Citizens arrest. You
In
can't
old,
just
in old
tackle
school when they
someone.
in old school when they grab the guys, you tell anyone about this, I'll fucking kill you. I'm kidding. We'll come back by tonight.
Oh, this is interesting too. I don't think like he's literally making fun of his mom right there. So
Who's
I'm
mom?
wondering if he's making fun of Billy Loomis right here, and he said he was a mama's boy, pussy, blah blah blah. And so I wonder if this is. I mean, we don't know if this is the mom or the. I love
Oh
this.
my god, are you kidding?
I love it so much. Like,
My
so you can't.
subtitles, they must have been written by someone in Europe because it said instead of boombox, it said hip hop box playing.
Yes, that's what that was. A hip hop box.
Now, did you feel like the way this is shot and sort of done? It's weird because it's during the day, which is rare for Killface.
Yeah.
But like for I can't remember Jamie Kennedy's character's name, but at this time he's a massive character in this franchise.
That
You think they did him justice with this kill?
I felt like it could. I don't know. It kind of goes back to what we were just saying, but like I think that's the whole point of Scream is like it keeps you on your toes, right? Like because you're like that's not how he would have gone out.
Right.
Like so you're like literally like again why you're like worried for Sydney because like you.
Great product placement again.
Mhm.
Dude, I could do that job. Be like the production assistant who like, hey, we have to get this product in.
Oh, that literally is your job, just like saying what brands you're gonna put on. He's fine. Walk it off.
But I am really interested now that you said it. I'm sure there's either a thread or a video somewhere, and I'll have to go back and check it out tomorrow, that shows or at least posits which killer was involved
Yeah.
with which murder. Because it's a lot easier in the first Scream, and that's part of the bait and switch. Is like Billy Loomis is who I assumed was the killer, but there's the scene where they're at, I don't know if it's his house, wherever they are, and
Yeah.
Killface like literally attacks him.
Yeah.
So at that point, you're like, well, fuck, he was like my best guess.
Is this? Oh yeah. So I do like this again. Scream has always been very like the fourth one had to do a lot with social media, right? Like, you know, they're really introducing chat rooms and like the internet here because it's very aware of its time, right? Like of what the kids are doing with the youth, you know, instant message. And she's like, is this like a yeah in network chat thing? And I love
He
this guy.
sends
It's
like
just a joke.
he sends an 8-bit dick. And the FBI guy's like, well, actually, Sydney, that's kind of like, we should respond.
It's like ASL.
Who
I
do you
like
think the first person to send that was?
I literally have memory of like asking what ASL meant, like to someone who said ASL. Like, what does that mean? And have distinct memory of LOL. Of not knowing what LOL was on A.
Again,
And someone
the first guy who came up with that, like, it sucks because he's an innovator, he or she's an innovator, but there's no way they made a fucking penny off of it.
and there's no way anyone believes them.
Correct.
If I
Oh
was
my
like,
God,
dude,
That's like your crazy uncle. Now, like, okay, Todd claims he came up with LOL.
Dude,
All
I
right,
swear, I was typing
bro.
and I was like, I don't want to watch
Why
laugh
would
out
I lie
loud.
about that? That would actually drive me insane that just people wouldn't believe me.
He made outrageous claims, like he invented the question mark.
My father would womanize.
Womanize. He would drink. But yeah, someone had to have been the first one out there. Like, but yeah, there's 0% chance anyone has. He probably to this day is still, or she is
Oh yeah.
trying to get people to like their Twitter handle probably says I invented LOL, and no, and everyone thinks it's a gag.
Now Cotton's like character in this movie, he's really interesting because he's a dynamic that like really is a fucking wrench for the viewer because he obviously has, of all of them, maybe like the most obvious motive against Sydney, but also he's clearly motivated by money, and she's kind of his meal ticket, right? So if she were to die, but then there's the double jeopardy aspect, like, dude, I've already been accused of killing someone in your family, like, are they really going to come after me again if I kill you? And then there's just Liev Schreiber, who's inherently has sort of that Timothy Oliphant, like, innate creepiness. But then he's also like, I know it's not stated. Is he like autistic in a weird way?
I think he's just one of those like really just self-unaware, like of how he comes across.
Yeah.
But I will say this, like,
good job, FBI. Not a second too late.
I think he's obviously like, being like there. You're trying to think he's the killer, but like he does have a point of being like, you owe me.
Yeah.
Like she literally is the reason he went to jail and lost a year of his life.
I'm not blaming Sydney for what she did, but like at the end of the day, like I was in fucking prison, and I didn't do it.
Think about this. Like he's interested in money. He was labeled a murderer, and even though he's been released, you think he's getting jobs. You think he's getting like.
Right, so he's like, "Come on The View with me, meet me."
He's like begging her, like, I need this because I have nothing else in life.
And she's like, "Look, I just hate Joy Behar. Can you just murder me instead?" No, I
need Ricky Lake.
I'm not going to give you the easy way out. Yeah, we're doing Springer.
Man, Ricky Lake was a big name. Whatever happened to her? That was even in the Offspring song. We'll go on Ricky Lake.
Mm.
You
think was the Rosie O'Donnell show a thing at this time? Probably, right?
Yeah, but wasn't that more of like a day sitcom, like kind of like Tonight Show? Like it was just like, I don't know, kind of like.
Yeah, she had like actors. I just remember my mom loved the Rosie O'Donnell show.
No, Ricky Lake is still around. Was
Ricky Lake like, today's guests are one woman who accused this man of murder. Can they make up?
Yeah.
She was like Maury, but all Maury did was paternity tests.
I that is one of my biggest guilty pleasure. I love Maury.
I have a really like specific memory. One time in high school, after school, I went over to your house and we were watching Maury, and it was one of those episodes. He had two types of episodes, right? He would have like people with weird fears, and then the paternity test episode. This was a weird fear episode, or like phobias. And there was the woman who was afraid of cotton balls.
Oh my God.
And he had, again, it's fucked up because he's not trying to help them like cope with it or remedy it. He's just there to like expose them worse. And he has someone just come out with a gigantic pallet of cotton balls, and this person sprints backstage. And then that was the first time you told me about your sister's phobia of melted cheese.
Yeah, or just cheese, really. Blocks of cheese.
Any cheese.
She's okay with, it's the weirdest phobia. I mean, she's okay with like cheese on pizza. She's okay with like cooked cheese inherently in the food, but like a block
like
of
a cheese platter with like some meats. Or something.
Yeah, she would freak out. Yeah, if you give her a block, I've chased around the house with a block of cheese. I just grabbed a block of cheddar.
As any good brother would.
Yes.
You're like, hey mom, we can't use this cheese for anything because I chased my sister around the house.
my dad once, you might know this. My dad once, when she was in college, sent her like $100 or a couple $100, but he literally put it in a block of cheese.
Inside
a block of cheese.
That's where especially in college, where you really have to be like, can someone else dig into
I need this money. I'm in college. Yeah, we definitely.
So they're basically telling Sydney here, like, although she didn't sick the FBI on Cotton.
No.
Chef didn't say get off of him.
Yeah, but it's funny. The FBI was like, we're gonna put you over here, and we're gonna go in the other room. And look how creepy he is behind Dewey. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Did
Now
you see the eye he gave?
that was well. He's the one whose fucking job is on the line here, because he's the guy who like beat the shit. Like, look, did I get a little rough with Cotton? Yeah, I did. I didn't hear the
Yeah.
whistle. I always forget because it kind of changes each movie. What's Dewey? Dewey's not in law enforcement in this film?
I think he's too injured.
Okay. Because he goes
I
kind of
think
back and forth.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's been a while. The third one, is he in the third one? Like, because I think because this one takes place so close to the first one, they made his injury still so debilitating that like he hasn't been able to rehab fully. I can't hear you. I think you're on mute.
Oh, I'm sorry. The real murder that was going on here is Billy Loomis's mom killing the brooch game. You see that thing? Look like the Olympic rings.
Yeah. I need to take another look at it. That's probably why it slows her down as a killer.
I'm glad this cameraman has this vest in case the fucking fishing tournament breaks out in the middle of this campus.
Yeah, I do love his, again, very meta. He's like, no, I've seen this movie. I'm going to get killed. I'm
black. I'm out.
I am getting in that taxi cab.
One other thing, just to kind of think about, and again, Scream is sort of impervious to this because of how self-aware it is, but what was the status of the Scary Movie franchise in '99? Was that the first one?
That's a good question. That is a really good question.
People at home are like, fucking look it up on the internet.
Yeah.
That's kind of our podcast thing, though, as we...
No, okay, sorry. I'm not going to look it up. I'm going to guess this. I remember I was in Lebanon. I was in Lebanon, and I saw a trailer for it, and I was cracking the fuck up.
Oh, yeah, because, like, really, had the spoof movie outside of Mel Brooks been done at that point?
No, like, not like that, yeah. And I think, I was there in the year 2000, so now I'm going to look it up and see if I'm right. I could be completely wrong. I could have my memories mixed up. Let's see. Yes, I was right. July 2000.
The first one was?
Yeah.
Okay, so after the first two Screams.
Yeah. Because
the killer in that movie wears the killface mask, right? I'm
yes.
assuming they licensed out.
So, but it's also like a funny, like, doesn't it have like different expressions?
Yeah, like, and then like he's smoking weed and one of them, his eyes are like.
So the reason why that makes sense too is one of the things I think we've talked about with Scream and why it's so iconic as a horror fan. It really was a resurgent for horror. Like, people always talk about like the 90s were kind of like you had Gremlins in the like 80s, you had Child's Play.
It become kind of like a joke, or at least the slasher film had.
The slasher film had died off.
Well, there was nothing to it anymore, right?
Yeah.
There was like no substance.
Because it really started in the 70s and 80s and really kind of died off in the 90s. So Scream restarted it. And then what Scream did, obviously, Scream 2, but then we got Final Destination. We got I Know What You Did Last Summer. Yeah. We got, oh my God, what's the other one that's like right on the tip of my tongue?
We had The Grudge around then.
Yeah, but it really
did. About slasher specifically?
Yeah, slasher, right. Yeah. So I Know You Did Last Summer. And what was the other one?
Wrong Turn came out?
Yeah, but there's one other that didn't. Anyway, but the whole point was it got enough to where Scary Movie was able to. That was the whole point. There was like 4 movies within that 4-year time frame because Scream had really set a resurgence. So like it almost felt like all these movies were coming out, and Scary Movie played up on that. And I still say the first one is pretty funny.
It really is. The second one even has some really good moments. Yeah. I remember Chris Elliott's character just cracking me up.
Yeah. Of all those movies, like, I remember by the third and fourth one, it was so bad, but like, I think they're the same companies, right? Like, Not Another Teen Movie.
Which Not Another Teen Movie actually is great.
I love it. Yeah, that's a great movie.
I might even like that more than a Scary Movie.
I do. To me, it's the best of those by far.
You know who plays the first character who speaks in that movie is our boy Josh Radnor.
Yeah, isn't he the tour guide? Yeah,
he's like Tom Green's character from Road Trip.
Yeah, I remember to Scary Movie, like the trailer where he's like, I'm in the house. Do you know where I am? And then she's like, you're behind the curtains. I can see your feet. And he's like, oh, shit. Like, okay, hold on. Like, I just remember as a kid just like thinking it was the funniest
He's like,
fucking
can you
thing.
just like turn
Can
around
you
for
be
like,
cool?
God damn it. And then this, when he calls him, they do the Budweiser, the wazza.
Yeah. Is this the, I don't think they had any, this is the first time they ever hook up in Scream, right?
I believe so.
I don't think they, they hint at like she flirts with him in the first one to get what she wants, right? Like, you think it's like weird to make out with your wife like that on set?
Yeah, probably.
I'm like, can I hook up with someone
Oh
else?
no, my hand's on your tit.
I hate when that happens.
Have we seen Josh Jackson since that scene at the film class?
No, I don't think so. You're right. I can't remember. I think he is in it one more time, but I could
Maybe the Ducks had a game and he had to go.
They do fly together. Oh, this is great. I remember being like.
I will say, to this day, one of the most effective and will always work creepy aesthetics in a horror movie is like the live feed of
you.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
That just I can't think of a time I've seen it in a movie and it hasn't been effective.
I always love like separating. I'm like, he's clearly struggling physically. Like, why do you need to separate? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, there's no one there. Clearly, we just both missaw that.
False alarm. Look at us freaking out. Oh my God, behind you, Gail.
Do you think he can be like, after he falls down the stairs, like, time out, Ghostface. Hey, man, like, come on.
Timesies.
God, I fell. It really hurts.
We both agreed the desk was base. Okay, so God. Why are you slashing at me while I'm on?
He's like, fine, but only for 10 seconds, though, because I have things to do. I don't think in college any doors were ever locked in the buildings. Like, you could just go in them all the time.
Like, who the fuck cares, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I remember really liking the way this scene was set up. Like
I do.
Like sneaking around, but with like also like walls with huge glass windows is an interesting idea.
Well, because inherently, like it is cool to put it in like the art department where they have the radio and
right.
Because like any other building is not. This is a maze, right? Like that's what makes the backstage of the theater, like all of this. You can't really get away with it in any other room.
I really do. Okay, I'm assuming this is Oliphant because like it's on campus. But
yeah, I think so.
Is there ever a moment where it's both of them at the same time? They are working in tandem, right? They're not just like random individual killers.
I think at the end, the very last scene, like where she's like escaping him and then he comes out from the other room.
The visual that I have in my head is Jerry O'Connell's character being lowered down like during the rehearsal scene with Sydney, but he's like either already dead or has been like stabbed once.
Yeah, he's like bleeding, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. And again, maybe I'm misseeing it, but I think like in the scene before, or the scene where the killer was clearly clumsy at the attack at the sorority house where they failed, it felt like the killer was shorter. You know what I mean? Like it felt like they clearly were.
Do you mean like after Sydney answered the phone, or the original, like the Sarah Michelle Gellar attack?
No, after Sydney was attacked and clearly ran, and then her boyfriend got stabbed in the arm.
Yeah.
Like, and when Dewey found them, like,
well, and you know, now that you say that, there's like a sort of like a visual passing of the torch. So after Sarah Michelle Gellar gets, oh no, that was like, we're gonna eat that. That actually looked good still,
dude. Especially in college, you're like, what the fuck? I left the room 5 minutes ago.
Honestly, too, yeah, you deserve to die. Oh, I forgot he got stabbed right here, dude. Yeah. He's like Cal Ripken. He just plays through it.
What if he's like he gets stabbed, but actually like it's like sometimes it puts everything right in the back place. He's like, oh, actually that helped.
Yeah,
I feel better now.
You realigned me.
Yeah.
No, but as Dewey's like with Lacey bleeding out on the glass, the passing of the torch I was referring to was after the one killface throws Sarah Michelle Gellar off the balcony.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think one of the very next shots we see is Oliphant like walking in the parking lot to greet his friends.
Yeah.
And then it shows Billy Loomis's mom, who we don't know that's who she is at the time.
Right.
and then it kind of like cuts back to the interior, so it's almost like they like tag each other in.
Yeah, and I think too they were working because the scene right before this where Dewey and Gail are like making out and the footage is going on, and she goes, "Oh my God, that's not our footage." It was like the mom was probably someone was recording, right?
Yeah.
So like they were probably both there, and that would make sense for her to be.
Does the mom reporter, she has some connection to Gail. Like either she idolizes her or she like hates her. I can't remember.
Well, it's all a ploy, but like she's
acting
like she idolizes her. Yeah.
Okay, but actually, did Gail write like bad things about Billy, and so she like that's her sort of her motivation?
Probably, yeah. I do. No, I can't remember if we get him, but in the monologue.
What's Oliphant's motivation? He's just like a fucking psycho.
That's what I can't remember specifically. I think they met in the chat room. Like, and she was like, he got it, or like, he was the only one who understood me or saw it for what it was. Like,
yeah,
I could be completely wrong, but I feel like that was like they bringing in the modern technology on how these people are able to collect. Like, honestly, it's sad because no one knew what the internet was really going to be. Like, he kind of called out like internet culture for being like, you can find really toxic people and find other people like you, and then it just enhances that behaviors.
Just picturing Billy Loomis's mom with like a fucking liter glass of wine in a chat room talking to some college age kid.
Yeah. ASL baby.
Screen name Want to Murder, but she was the first person to think to make 2 the number instead of
God damn it, but I did that.
You were just barely behind her.
I really like, could AIM still exist? Like, could I go like?
Man, that's a great question.
I would love to log in and just see my list of friends that I have, like everyone's screen names.
I mean, this happens all the time on college campuses.
You gave up. Again, some people have been killed on campus, and you're going around going, you need to die.
Dude, frat life, if you're listening, you're in a fraternity, hey man, you do you. But like from the outside looking in, it's just like it's a beast that I'll just never understand.
You got to pay for friends, bro. Did he just pour beer down his pants? Did I miss that?
There's a strong possibility.
Because they had the bong in his underwear.
Someone does.
I'd be like, here's the thing. I'd be like, nice one, but guys, we're in college. Can we stop wasting beers? Because we're all. Yeah, this is, I think, coming up soon. It's probably the most like creepy part of the movie, in my opinion. Like in terms of just like.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this kill. When was the last time you bonged a beer? Didn't we do one recently, actually?
I think recently. I know my bachelor party for sure.
Yeah.
Did we for yours? I think I bought a beer bong for your bachelor party, but I don't know if anyone ever did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like stopped at Spencer's on the way to your.
It's a good thing to have. Yeah, I just found in my cabinet, like actually today, I looked in it and it's called like, it's that chalice you gave me at my bachelor party. I don't know if it's like that bitch or like birthday bitch. Or
I hope you still drink from that.
Oh, of course. So this is like, a pretty ruthless. The funny thing with Killface, not funny, but like the thing that I like about him is he's like a normal human being. Like, yes, he wants to murder people, but he has like levels. Like here, he's like clearly really pissed off.
Yeah. Also, killing FBI agents. He's really in it now. Like, it's one thing to kill just college kids, but now you're gonna be getting the government involved.
Yeah.
He clearly doesn't have his driver's license, so
both these guys were one day from retirement too.
Like, sir, do you know why I pulled you over? You were swaying through the
I didn't dip my brights. Is that what it is? Well, it's that you've murdered 7 people, but it's mainly the brights thing.
Can I see your driver's license, please? Oh, that is not a good kill. Wait, does he grab the gun in this one? because you and I were debating this, right? Like we get the
He's
in
never
Scream 6 trailer, he picks
Yeah.
up a gun, and I don't know that I just call that. No, he doesn't. Okay.
I do remember the interesting concept here is like, or the reason the car crash plays as tension so well is they're like trapped now in the back seat because she
Yeah.
can't open the door. Is that someone's ear?
No, he's fine. He's fine.
Yeah, just give him a sec to walk it off. Just a foul ball off the knee. Well, Sydney really tried to break that glass there.
Yeah, I try. I can't.
I have to say one of the most unfortunate things in movies. How many times do you see an innocent person just riding in the backseat of the cop car and they somehow end up trapped in the back seat?
Yeah, shouldn't there be? I mean, maybe now, maybe it wasn't back then. There should be a setting, like you know how like you have child lock on your car for the windows. Like, why isn't there a setting that the cops have that's like, hey, you're just a normal passenger, so we're not gonna lock you in? Because what if there's a car accident? You know, like just like that, like seriously,
Right. No,
that's a
that's a great
safety
point.
issue.
I don't really know like what the methodology would be to get. This is actually pretty athletic. That's a good move by Sydney.
Yeah. This is the part specifically right here where she has to go over him. That's so like to me like just like oh I get goosebumps because it's just like
Yeah.
how
What she should do is plug in her Spotify and play like a white noise playlist that'll keep him asleep.
We do thunder and rain.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I have a white noise machine. It has 4. One is thunder. One is like ocean. One is like rainforest. I think the other is just like this TV static.
I always love the rain. I always like want the ocean ones to be like, shh, caw.
There is
like
I think it's a Family Guy joke where it's like a rainforest white noise, but it ends up being like a jaguar like mauling a bunch. It was like they set a recorder out in the rainforest and it caught like this vicious kill. But yeah, you're right. This is very intense.
Yeah. Like, could you imagine like literally doing it, not knowing whether the kill like. Ugh.
Based on that ring, she was on the Miami Dolphins Super Bowl team in the 1970s.
Yeah, it's a fun fact about her, actually. That's actually why he's trying to kill her.
She was the slot receiver. The thing with Killface, too, is you never know, like, is he playing possum?
Yeah.
Or is he... Because he is more vulnerable than most of the killers, or is he actually just fucking knocked out?
Yeah. What if he grabbed her butt right there? Like,
the worst part is that, yeah, Killface is gonna get fucking Me Too'd.
He's like, sexual assault is not a joke.
Because he's a pig. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. See, you should be able to open it from the inside. I mean, the outside now. Yeah, like, I mean, inherently with cop cars, you have to open them from the outside, so I don't understand why.
Yeah, so what's the issue? The handle's fucking broke?
Maybe. Yeah, see, you got to go as fast as possible. Just go.
Yeah, I mean, we all know how this is going to end.
See, I know there's something.
She got out.
Yeah, I would just be like...
Again, I guess that's the thing I love about Scream. Like, it's not
anything...
You
can't be mad at anything that happens, or you can't act like you knew what was going to happen, because, like, literally every option is available. Oh, I love that. Yeah, isn't he gone?
She is right, though, and I like her pointing it out. Stupid people go back, smart people run.
Yeah. Guys, she's like, I want to take a shower and go upstairs right now. Why would you want to do that?
You do smell like shit. Yeah, like, clearly Killface is not there.
Yeah. Gotta listen. Everyone knows you listen to the wise black character, which is like you remember the movie Waiting?
Yes.
Yeah, the black cook. He's like, why are you coming to me? Because I'm the wise black guy. He's gone. What? That's on you, Sid. Like,
yeah.
There's survivor's guilt, but there's like, oh, that one, no, that's on me. Like, I very much caused your death there. I should have listened to you.
So this, I mean, I guess assuming that they're not doing like a Saw timeline twist, like now we know there's 2 Killfaces.
I mean, yeah, I think we would hint at it, but the idea is like,
because I mean, Gail just
she saw him disappear. One. Yeah.
Yeah, but that'd be like impossible.
Oh, I do agree. Yeah, but I do love again. This is very much how Saw 1 was like. Billy's like again. Why would you think like either way that that Cotton is or isn't the killer? Like they're both completely believable. That's why you can't be mad at the reveals. You just can't. So I wonder if she was trying to contact Oliphant.
Yeah. So just the way that Scream works, and again, it's like you can't ever really read into anything because the red herring could be that they're trying to make someone look like the killer,
Yep.
but they actually might be the killer. But seeing Cotton show up with blood on his hands really almost exonerates him as the viewer. You're like, oh well, there's no
like,
fucking
too
way,
much.
right? Wes Craven wouldn't like spoon feed it to us like that.
Except
I will
he
say,
would though. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's
I know, but it would be like to subvert expectations, right? It's like in The Princess Bride where he's like, "You think I would drink this iocane powder?" So
Yeah.
it's like, dude, what?
You can't get. He's like I'm all over the place.
Right. And that's sort of part of the fun is like, I don't know. It's like this chess game where like the Scream knows that we know all the obvious moves, but then also Scream's like, well, maybe we can just run the ball on 3rd and 1 because you expect us to run like a reverse, you know?
Right. Exactly. And can you be upset when you get it? No.
Right.
You're like, damn it.
This is a cool idea for like the last set piece, I think. Like in the darkened auditorium.
Oh yeah, especially with all the creepy stuff going around.
I will say
All
one
the props.
like the first 2 acts of this movie probably take place in what, like a week, and then it's nice because the 3rd act is pretty much all like one night.
I was gonna say I don't know if all the crescendos and climaxes to all the movies. This might be like this is quite literally almost 45 minutes of this last night, right? Like
Yeah, like real time.
yeah, like I don't know. Obviously the last okay, that's tough because Scream 1 you could argue that the party is the party it does happen. The party is probably like the last 40 minutes of the movie. But they do even though the party's happening, it feels very isolated at some points.
And also, and I could be misremembering it and maybe just comparing it wrong to this one, but Scream 1, I feel like there's like almost a month from the start of the killings to the end.
I think so, at least a couple of weeks. Because the killings start on a specific anniversary and end on the specific anniversary.
Yeah. So he went, I mean, he could just be drunk, but we went from like the party to him being abducted pretty fast.
Yeah. And where did everyone go?
Cop showed up, bro. Party fucking died.
Fuck. Hey, we got to run, but let's leave our frat brother just completely tied up. And you
even,
still, I mean, yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, you still think he's involved.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, like, there's, again, I remember saying, like, why wouldn't you think it's him still? Yeah. Okay. So we'll get his motivation.
So his.
And I love it. He does frame the boyfriend here. He's like, yeah, man. What are we going to say? Sorry.
Well, I was going to say him bleeding from the head means which one was he? Like, I'm trying to think which of them got hit.
I think he's
the one
car
driving
accident.
the car?
Yeah. Because I think the woman that's why she was outside the auditorium. I think she was trying to call him and be like, where are you?
This is genius. Like, as he's tied up, Sid's the most vulnerable.
Yep.
And, dude, I don't blame her. I would
would
believe this, too.
She's, her boyfriends have lied to her. Oliphant's never lied to her. Of course you got to believe him.
No. Honestly, I think
untie me and then let's have sex because I'm a virgin.
Okay, now hang on. Now you've kind of got my ear.
It's great though. Like, cause like, how do you? Oh yeah, there you go. Oof. Well, that technically is him with a gun, right? But without the mask.
Yeah.
Doesn't count.
Plus, he turned it sideways. Kill shot.
Yeah. She's like, I'm sorry, Sid. You're responsible for multiple deaths tonight. God damn it.
But again, do they get into his motivation? Like, I guess, is he just like, yeah, you're my best friend, I guess, but you also cheated in Madden that one time?
God. You were looking at my screen while I was
When
choosing
I
plays.
went to piss, you used one of my timeouts.
My God. You remember? I remember we had a specific friend who was notorious, like when we were playing NCAA, and you were picking a play, and he would just stare at your plays.
Oh my God.
You're like, you can't do that.
That's sick.
Like, we like had to tell him to turn around.
Wow.
Okay, so I think we're about to get like when we get the mom here in a second. I can't remember the motivation here. It's like Mickey. Oh yeah, that's right. He's motivated by fame. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. And again, people are like, well, that's not realistic. Like, dude, all Billy Loomis' mom would need is one fucking guy, and that guy would be out there.
The effects of cinema. And he was a film major, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bob Dole on the witness stand. Christian Coalition to play my legal fees. I love it.
And dude, he would probably get a high-profile lawyer. I mean...
Oh, yeah. You just said Dershowitz, too.
Oliphant is just fucking chewing this up.
And two, again, to someone who was watching this now, you might be like, oh, this is played or whatever. This is 2 or 3 years removed from the O.J. Simpson trial. And for the younger people, they don't understand what a cultural phenomenon that really was. Like, I was like 8 years old or 7 years old when that happened. But, like, that was the biggest thing in American history at the time. And, like, I had family abroad who literally, like my great aunt, who didn't speak any English, literally thought that the O.J. Simpson trial was a soap opera.
Like, well, dude, that was the first time I'd ever seen like courtroom footage.
Yeah, and so like to watch this movie and be like, oh my gosh, he's doing it for fame. Like so many movies. No, like coming off what was absolutely happening in the country right now, it's a believable motivation for the everything, the attention he would get.
Oh yeah, Linda Hamilton thing going, that is like the best compliment you could give someone.
Oh yeah,
capable, hot.
Surprise cameo just for you. Yeah, and I love this. Like again, you're like, oh my God, didn't I? Okay, yeah.
She's like, what?
Mother-in-law from hell, right?
Wait, had she not seen her before?
She had.
Then why did she say Mrs. Loomis?
She has seen her when they dated.
I know, but she hadn't seen her on campus?
Yeah, so I've actually read that like they avoid, there's never a scene where they I don't think there's like a scene where they know each other, or like maybe they walk by each other or something, but like they don't interact.
It just seems wild that like as a reporter, she could have avoided Sydney for 2 weeks, being as a like big a presence on campus as she was.
Yeah, but also the question is like if Sydney did walk by her or see her, she's not expecting her, especially in a slew of reporters. So it's like the brain lets you.
Well, and she's under an alias, right?
Yeah, she is.
So like if Gail talks about her, she's going to be like, oh, it was so and so, and she's not obviously going to say Loomis.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and she betrays him. She's like, what?
Oh, Mickey. Hitched your wagon to the wrong store.
Oh yeah, yeah. So this, am I misremembering this? Was there nothing about them meeting in the chat room, or like, I swear.
Maybe she'll bring it up right here, because again, it just doesn't make sense for them to be like, how would they be working together?
Yeah, here we go. Okay. I was like, you're like, no, not Mickey. Why would you do that to him? Of all the kills.
I love when a crazy person calls someone else crazy. That's when you know that person's fucking crazy.
I'm so insane.
He's a lunatic, right? Yeah, no, you got your shit together, but he's wild.
I always loved like, you killed my son, like, but he was trying to kill me, so what was I supposed to do?
It's the same thing in Taken 2. They tell Liam Neeson, you killed my son. Like, your son was a human trafficker and like kidnapped my daughter and had tried to kill me. Yeah, but my sperm made him. So, okay. Good logic.
Yeah. How dare you do this? It's a pretty good theory again because she's saying she's mimicking the first movie.
Now, does that like because you see this in everything? Does like the rag on the gun or that door handle? Does that like how fragile are fingerprints
I
that would
think it
actually?
does enough to smudge to
Okay,
like where you
must
go
be
from like a
somewhat
99.5% accuracy to like something and enough in court to
50-50,
like
basically
yeah, or even a 60-70 match is not enough to like
worth it. Yeah.
yeah, let's be like definitive.
Do we ever learn? Because I'm just thinking of like possible threads they could pull on in the future. Do we ever learn or hear anything about Billy's dad?
Well, other than having the affair, right? I don't.
Billy's dad did?
Billy's dad had the affair with Nev's City's mom.
I thought that was Cotton.
Oh, well, no, she had sex with a lot of people.
Hmm. Okay, I guess
That
so.
because like yeah, she was like notorious, right? Like that was like I think I'm pretty sure yeah, she had like multiple partners.
That sounds right.
Because he says like your mother slept with my dad and ruined their
It's funny. I was like, ruin their marriage. Like, yeah, no, didn't fucking ruin my life at
yeah.
all. Yeah, get pissed at me.
I love that like she fell for the oldest trick in the book. Oh, what's going on over there?
This chick doesn't even know if she's left or right-handed. How she's shooting this gun.
But again, I do always appreciate how like Ghostface is not this like again it's really when you put the mask on that like they become this entity, but like
Right.
inherently not this like strong suave killer, right? Like very, very like, just like look at her like like
Yeah, she
all
can't
over
even
the
fucking
place.
jump over that. That's why this new Ghostface in Scream 6 will be interesting.
Well, yeah, and the thing is like, we talked about like why Strangers is so iconic as a horror movie. When any movie, whenever the killer removes the mask, it not humanizes them, but like makes you feel
The
like you have a
fear,
chance.
the fear is gone. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you just look at them as like, okay, you're just another person with the same abilities that I have, rather than being chased or whatever. The only movie, honestly, and I think you and I might disagree on it because I think I liked it a little more than you did, but like the movie Hush, when the killer like in the early like what the second act of the movie, she's like he takes off the mask, but as an
Oh yeah.
intimidating factor. He's like showing him basically being like, I'm going to show you who I am
Whoop.
to show that I'm going to kill you.
It's like he gets bored already because, like, again, if you haven't seen Hush, the premise is a home invasion happens and the woman is hearing
Yeah,
impaired, and
yeah.
once the killer figures that out, he basically messes with her, like
But it's
knowing,
inherently scary, yeah,
oh
because
my god, it's
like,
frightening.
but
Because
like,
the whole
I
time
mean,
you want to like
since
warn the protagonist,
I
you're like, "Oh,
know,
behind you."
but like, I love it because that was the only time I feel like taking the mask off works because he's basically saying like, you're not going to get out of this alive, so
Right.
I don't
I
mind
like what I
showing
have
you
to
my
lose.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can't tell the cops who I am because
Right.
itch in the face.
Sydney, man, doing some good like parkour moves right here.
I mean, she's worked out, she's fit. I feel like if I had a killer after me every single year, I would be in really good shape.
Yeah, that's true. Your calves would be really strong.
That'd be funny in like the workouts she does in the gym though. Like she has like some like she's laying on the bench press. She's like, I need you to attack me while I push
Yeah,
you
other people are
off.
doing like box jumps,
Yeah.
and, like leg press, and she's doing like fight off stab move.
Yeah. This is where you're almost like, is he in on it too? Like you have no idea.
Dude, yeah, because at this point you're like, Scream might have one more bag of
Yeah.
one more arrow in its quiver.
They've never done 3, right?
I don't think so. Thank God they haven't, you know.
They do like 8. It's like everyone is actually the killer
And if I
except Sydney.
remember in Scream, dude, I do not remember at all who the killer is in Scream 3, but I know in 4, I think it's just one person.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Scream 3.
I remember who it is,
All
but
right,
I
spoiler,
also
skip ahead 30 seconds. Who's the killer in Scream
isn't
3?
it the director or the
Yes. Who's like her half brother?
yeah, something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Again, I my God, I might need to revisit Scream 3 after this.
I remember Scream 4 really well.
Yeah, that's I need to rewatch all of them before in the lead up. I'll probably actually because we have a little over a month at the time of recording.
Yes, let me check. By the way, I just got an alert. Is How I Met Your Father on Tuesdays or Thursdays?
Yes, Tuesdays.
Oh, I thought it was Thursdays.
Only idiots would think that. Jesus.
What?
So embarrassing.
March 10th is the new one. Yeah, so.
Yeah, so a little over a month. Yeah. I do love this because, again, you're like, his motivation is just fame and money. So it's like, but also revenge. So it's like, but sadly, at the end of the day, money, I think he literally does want to kill her, but money is more motivating.
Oh, yeah. You know what? And now that I see, I thought he had way more of a role in this movie than I originally did, but Scream 3, he actually has a really big part.
Yeah. Is he? No, now this is mean forgetting. Does he die in Scream 3 or is he in the
I think so. Yeah, I think he gets killed. But I think they kind of play it again because he actually gets more upset with Sydney in that one because he has to do the interview circuit without her, and then the narrative kind of starts to play out that they're at odds with each other and it hurts his brand.
Yeah.
So again, they paint him. But then it's also okay, we get that Cotton is hot-headed and runs hot and cold, but he saved her life in the last one. Would he really kill her in this one?
It's like, dude, now you really owe him, Sid. He saved your life and he went to prison for a year.
It's like Dwight Schrute and Andy Bernard where they're trying to get people to owe them things, so they keep
stop doing. I'm like, why do you? Yeah, I love this. I love how she's very much like, I know they're gonna come back. But they trick you, right? It's Mickey that comes back this time.
Yeah, I totally forgot Gail got shot. What a fucking beast.
She's actually been awake down there. She's like, I'm just gonna hang out here.
And when we last left Dewey, he was stabbed in the recording studio, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It'd be funny if they Dewey got stabbed in the other leg and now he was limping on both legs.
Yeah. But it's balanced now, so he's actually in better shape.
They basically had to make him like Oscar Pistorius, just give him the two metal. We need to amputate, bro. We can't deal with the double limp.
But he's not overcompensating on one side, so it's actually it's better on his knees. Yeah, then they shoot her right in the head. Oh no, I thought they shot. Yeah, okay, after this maybe.
Here's the thing: if you want to come back from the dead, maybe do it in a sneaky way.
I know,
He was probably, I want to make this big and dramatic. He's on stage, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, this is I don't think she's gonna come back from that one.
You know what would have been interesting is if there was one scene and her hair was different and she had one line in the first Scream where we saw Billy Loomis's mom played by the same actress.
Yeah.
And it was kind of on us to remember her, even though she had
that would have been cool. I'm sure when they made the first Scream, they had no idea it would spin off like this. Yeah. I like that he comes back. He's like, hey, can I still have that job? Now that the killers are dead.
No, I just had to go take a piss.
It's respect.
One thing I never understand about this, and again, I don't watch the news at all, but how often do they cut in just live to things? Because every movie, we're cutting live. What if now the talking head in the desk is well, what the fuck? I thought.
Yeah, I don't even know.
I just have to.
Dewey's what if Dewey's kill me?
Hurts so bad.
They're not really so smooth about the transitioning.
I get why your shirt's off, Gil, but why are your pants off? And his one shoe.
This is embarrassing. It's I left it. Can you go get it?
It's Jordan.
Can you tell us what happened there? Yes. I was attacked again for the 100th time.
I don't know. She had a weird face when she was into it. Cotton was just going to put himself in the back of the police car.
He's Been through this before. I know how this story plays out.
I'll handcuff myself. I'll give myself my Miranda rights.
Well, did they just run over there like, Cotton, is it true you're a hero? Where did you hear that from?
Yeah, like, these people just like spit out these weird rumors.
They didn't even know Cotton was involved. It was literally Nev Campbell or Sydney goes, go talk to Cotton. He's the guy who went, and Cotton, is it true you're a hero? He's like, who said that? I don't know. Who are your sources?
Cite them, please. MLA format.
Yeah, there's no way Sydney would just be able to walk away from this crime scene. Like, not just inherently about like reporters. I'm saying like cops would take her into the station.
Yeah,
There'd
for
be
real.
interviews.
If they're doing their job at all.
She'd be like, oh, well, I guess I'm gonna go back to my dorm. I got a final tomorrow.
Yeah, you're not getting out of that. Nice try.
Yeah. Well, what is it?
Attention, I knew you'd fucking ask for this.
What was the joke? I mean, no one knows if it was a joke. It was one of those like urban legends that
your
you didn't want to find. Killed yourselves, or like
I think there's a whole movie about that actually.
Is there?
With Joshua Jackson.
We never did see what's his name.
Can come back.
There's Harvey Weinstein, and then what was the other one? If you get hit by a car on campus, you get free tuition.
Yeah. That's a dangerous one to spread because you know people like fucking leaping and
just jumping.
Yeah, and college students obviously are not the best drivers.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that was Scream 2. Cycling, I think the more I watch of this franchise, the more I enjoy it. Just because it's like, it's the perfect combination, I think, for us of like dumb slasher fun, but also you can take it for a very shallow type slasher movie. Or you can like really dig into it, kind of like we did tonight.
Yeah, I think that's inherently what makes Scream unique. It's like there's an inherent funness to it. There's an inherent like sense where it's not taking itself that seriously, but somehow it's able to pull off the fact that it is still a serious movie, right? Like you go back and watch like I Know You Did Last Summer and all these others, like they don't have that like they don't play that line of being like a fun but authentic killing scary movie. So it's like, I mean, those are good movies. I like them. But I mean, the reason why Scream has survived the way it has, like how you can turn your brain off and watch this just as a silly movie, and you can invite friends over for a scary movie night and watch this.
The interesting thing about what you said about like comparing this to the other slashers at the time is you're not going to out Scream, and I think the weakness of a lot of those. I'm thinking particularly of like I Know What You Did Last Summer, is they take themselves almost too seriously and aren't able to stick the landing. Or Scream, if you think about it, it's like impossible to fail, really.
No, and that's what it kind of goes to the point, like you said about like who the killer is, how like you're not because any formula works. He could literally have made anyone the killer in any of these movies, and you'd be like, okay,
yeah,
you know, like there's no sense of disappointment that like I think that like. Why you and I love the Saw movies, but why we're inherently so easily disappointed by them is we have that aura of expectation. Where it's Saw, like Scream, you really don't.
Well, Saw had to like constantly one up itself, and it just collapsed in on the myriad of narrative threads it had.
Well, plus two, I think for us who we're such movie buffs, we just inherently love watching a movie. We could watch a movie every day if we really wanted to. Scream is like for movie fans, right? Like that's another thing.
Yeah. You get way more out of it if you are like a horror hound.
Yeah. Just like the meta-ness, the play on it. Like they play it. So I'm excited for Scream 6. Maybe lower expectations just in general, but I think like I said, I've said before, the franchise has earned our trust.
This again, recency bias is not included in this, I don't think. I think this is the best pound for pound horror franchise. Like
100%.
Every single entry is at the very worst a good movie.
I don't think it's a debate. I argue
like what would even be second?
Like again, like if we want to talk about the Saw movies or Halloween movie, I mean everyone agrees. You know what might be second? Fucking Nightmare on Elm Street. Like
maybe
that's at least in the original run. That's maybe in its original 4-movie run in the 80s, because those movies are those. I think I've told you that was out of all the originals of like Halloween, Friday the 13th. Nightmare on Elm Street original holds up the best. Yeah. Inherently, is still to this day is like freaky good movie.
Because
But
Halloween, I mean, especially after going back, there's only two good movies there. It's the original and then the first David Gordon Green one.
there, and you can argue like, okay, H2O is like all these others are okay.
Yeah, H2O is okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Like these movies are okay. Like Saw, we have a very soft spot for Saw. Like, I mean, we can talk about Child's Play. Child's Play is like, but nothing is that consistent. I just don't think it's a close number two. I really don't.
Yeah. I mean, the first Scream, I think we all love the best just because it's the OG. It set the template, and it's just a fucking great movie. But the other four, and especially now that we have one in the bank that was not done by the late Wes Craven, they're all above average horror movies, which is a genre that is, like, especially with sequels, a really tough cookie to crack.
Absolutely.
People have high expectations, and like a lot of times they just end up being painfully bad.
And the ones without Wes Craven, I will say, has stayed, at least you always kind of worry they'll change it, they'll not honor the legacy of what it was. They've done a really great job of keeping it in that lane of what he intended Scream to be.
I actually don't know off the top of my head, embarrassingly, like if the directors of the new ones have any relationship to him, not like genealogy wise, but like, did they work on any of the previous movies?
Good question.
Or were they
I
like
actually don't know that. Yeah.
Did they like write any of the films? So I'll have to look that up because, like you said, it definitely feels like it has his same sensibility there, and they're definitely playing on like all of the, like what to him what Scream was about, which is I think why they still work.
Yeah, absolutely, hands down. But like I said, even if this movie, even if Scream 6 ends up not being good, they like again the movies we're talking about, Halloween, Nightmare, Saw, Child's Play, whatever, have had not just one bad movie. They've had multiple bad movies.
Multiple.
So like Scream can literally shit the bed for 3 movies and still be probably number 1. It really can be. It would take a lot for Scream to like drop a spot in like the best horror movie franchise.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like, yeah, they would have to have 3 bad movies in a row.
Yeah. And it still would be close.
It's kind of weird. Last thing I'll say, do we know, because I'm sure that there was like pressure or studios wanting this, after Scream 4, why did they stop?
I think
it seems like the move in Hollywood is let's just milk it till it's getting blood from a stone, like till it's worthless basically and can't produce anything good.
I think it was Wes Craven. Like,
Which,
I think
mad respect if it was. It was like, I don't have an idea. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think he was one of those, like, he probably had the reputation. I mean, he did definitely have the reputation, but he was probably one of the few people that could go to the movie studios. They'd be like, hey, we need another Scream, pop them out. Being like, no, like, unless I know it's going to be good. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I mean, who knows for real, but they knew I think that's the only reason they didn't oversell it. Like, right? Like, they didn't just keep popping them out, but I'm excited for Saw 6. We'll have to see it together. Or at the same time.
Definitely. Comes out, I guess we'll drop this probably like a week before, maybe, so people can, if they want to go back and revisit. The nice thing about Scream, after you watch Scream 2, there's only 3 other movies. So it's not like there's like 17 you have to catch up on or anything crazy. All right, I am the mayor, Jeff Hornacek. It's our legal counsel, Ronnie Cycli. We're the Bro Force Squad podcast. Find us at Bro Force Squad. 3 separate words on everything: YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. Anywhere you find your podcasts. We're also on our website, broforcesquad.com. Check out everything we've ever posted there. Our running top 100 movies of all time list and our squad blog. Till next time, we have to go to the set of Stab. Is it 2?
Maybe even. They might be on their 8th one.
Shit. Good for us. We got fucking press passes.
Kind of.